Welcome back to the psychological issues of digital health and wellness. Over here, we're going to mention that physical is very easy to identify, but psychological issues, in terms of how it impacts on you, is very hard to identify if this is actually affecting me. It's very hard to admit to yourself if you are addicted to the internet, for example. And there's also a stigma around that psychological issues are not important as physical issues, but they are just as important if they are left untreated. So, if you turn into your model manual, we have some examples of psychological issues that impact our technology use, which is firstly addiction. Now, I want to mention that how do you know that you are addicted to the internet? And I do give quite a list here. And they're saying that there quite is a lot of different sort of forms of addiction when it comes to using the internet, such as maybe gambling is one of the common examples of addiction, but also just general internet addiction is a problem in our society. So you could be seen as addicted if you're spending so much time on the computer and online. If you feel that you can't control your behavior, you have to touch your phone, you have to go and see what's going on social media. It's affecting how you sleep because you're interacting on maybe gaming and video games all day and all night. There's also been physical changes to weight gain or weight loss, carpal tunnel syndrome. You feel that you have to lie about using your internet use. Oh no, I haven't been on the internet for like an hour or something. So you're trying to also lie about how often you are online, as well as neglecting your friends and family. So if you know someone that is maybe addicted to the internet, you can start showing them that, listen, you don't have to do this, you don't have to hide it, we do know it, and we need to control this behavior. The next thing that is a psychological issue is online disinhibition effect. This is a very interesting part of the work because it's talking about how we have sort of two identities when it comes to online. We have two psychological behaviors of how we are offline, which is how we are as a person really, and how we are online, which is a completely different person entirely. And that the person online feels less inhibited because they can do whatever they want. Their behavior is completely out of control and they don't feel like there is this internet police that's watching them. So someone online might be more social, might be very angry and do those rants and become a troll, and or might stalk someone, and they find that they can do whatever they want because they can be anonymous online as well. And this can also result to them becoming antisocial and preferring their online identity than their offline identity. So we call this the online disinhibition effect, and it has quite a lot of negative consequences as well. The next thing we have to look at is cyberbullying and cyberstalking. So looking at the first one, the TV show 13 Reasons Why showed how cyberbullying can affect us still in today's age, and how important it is to mention cyberbullying, because it's not just bullying taking place at the school or the university, but it continues to become a problem even when you go home. So the cyberbullying doesn't stop. It can happen on Facebook, on Instagram, and it's very important to mention that it's going to have a negative sort of effect on even children. And the idea behind this is bullying usually would occur face to face, but now you can keep going because of technology, and there is no sort of safe area for the victim, and the bully feels that they can be anonymous on the technology. When it comes to cyber stalking, I put You as the TV show as a way of glamorizing cyber stalking, because you're sort of, following your victim everywhere, and that sort of portrays it in a better light. But cyber stalking is a problem because it's very frightening to the victim who feels they have no control. They believe that, the sort of perpetrator is there all the time, and they can feel very victimized. And if they go and explain to someone, they might feel that they can't really explain what is happening, but they feel watched, or someone is telling them to do things, and so on. So this essentially just means that you're being stalked over the internet or email, even through social media. And there's a fine line, they say, between just annoying someone and tracking their behavior, or just seeing what they're doing because you want to know what they're up to. And then it can become very violent as well because they're being stalked. There are similarities between, I think I've jumped ahead. There are similarities between online and offline stalking. They say that stalking tends to be from someone the victim was intimate with previously, And the victims tend to be female and the stalker being male. And stalkers seem to be motivated by the desire to control the victim. There are other differences as well. From offline stalking generally requires the victim to be in the same geographical region. Electronic communication makes it easier for cyber stalking, and electronic communication lowers the barrier to harassment and threats, as a stalker does not need the physical to physically confront the victim. Therefore, cyber stalking has quite a negative effect because the stalker can keep going and sort of become a part of the victim's life. Next, we have the dangers and protection through education and training. So, the younger generation children do not understand the effects of technology like we might know, and therefore we need to put those digital security measures in place. The internet is a very harmful place, and we need to make sure that we are introducing computer application technology in grade 10 and in high school, as well as in university, to teach these sort of skills that you know what to do and protect yourselves from the cybercrime people, criminals out there, as well as protecting your own health and wellness, as well as your physical issues as well. Okay, in our next class, we'll be covering Learning Unit 9, which is digital commerce, and it's our last element of digital communication and digital citizenship. Remember to take down notes, and you can explain to your lecturer maybe anything you don't understand about Learning Unit 8 so far. Remember to complete the VC Learn and textbook activities in your model manual, the recommended reading as well. Please look through that and look at your lesson plan and see what activities interest you there. Maybe you want to learn more about identity theft. Maybe you have some physical issues and now you can see your symptoms in this learning unit. Let's go into our next learning unit, and remember to write down notes if you have any problems with this work so far.